drop bombs like Mr. Funk Flex, but I don't do it for the money. I do it from the.
What's good?
What up?
What's up, everybody?
What's happening, man? How you doing?
What's going on?
I'm doing all right, man.
Good. Welcome to Divergent Thought, ladies and gentlemen. I'm one of your co-hosts, Charles Thomas.
I'm your boy, B. Little. Glad to be back.
DP.
Yeah, speaking of being back, how you doing? How you feeling?
I'm feeling a whole lot better, man.
Good. Glad to hear. We missed you last week.
No, you didn't.
No, we really did. It was good. It was
That's
good.
all right.
I'm glad you're feeling better, though.
Let's go.
Anyway, call in and talk to us tonight, y'all. We're talking about the future of hip-hop. We have a great show for y'all tonight. We have a great guest come talking here today, 202-652-0708. So I'm going to jump right in and give y'all an introduction. We have Mr. Jay Julien here to talk with us tonight. Jay's an activist, youth advocate, and a creator of culture. Jay has mentored and serviced youth all over the DMV through organizations such as Got Gifts Outreach, Boys Town DC, Zion Church, and Will Rap for Food.
Nice.
Jay is the founder of Counterculture Radio, one of the CEOs for Will Rap for Food, a board member for Coalition of Minds, and an ambassador for 10 Blessings. Mr. Jay Julien, appreciate you being here, man.
Hey, appreciate you having me.
What's a round of applause sound like?
The real one right here. That's it.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. So, you know, happy Black History Month, number one.
Dang, it is
It's the first day.
February 1st, ain't it?
Yeah,
My man.
February 1st. Yeah, so, you know, this month we got a lot of good stuff going on, and, you know, particularly tonight, you know, in light of, you know, to talk about some good stuff we see going on in the world. We just had the SAG Awards where a bunch of people won out there, and, you know, you got Jay just making $200 million deals with a 33% sale in title. So it's been a pretty, which he only bought for $50 million only. Bought it for $50 million.
Russell just made $147 million
On the rush car, right?
Yeah, rush
Who did he
car.
sell it to?
Green Dot.
Green Dot. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, when you think about the rap game, how many of y'all have seen on Facebook where they're talking about the rise and fall of hip hop? Daryl, did you look at what I sent you the other day?
No.
Yeah, I did.
So what do y'all think is going on in the hip hop game right now? Do you think we're in a good space? Are we in a bad space? Like, what do you feel? Jay, we'll start with you, man.
I think we're in a good space. Actually.
Really?
Yeah, I really think that we're in a good space. I think that where we are right now, for the last probably decade, we kind of created a void for real hip hop. So now we're getting your Kendricks, your J. Cole's, your Nick Grants,
That's all I got, honestly.
Right.
Those three right there.
Drake. I mean, but they're the highest selling though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like all of these little Uzis and little
That's what's
Yachty's or
shining on my
whatever.
cheeks right there.
They're the most popular, but they're not
You
even.
said they're doing what?
They're not.
That's what's shining on my cheeks.
They're not selling the most records. You know what I'm saying? So I think that they get a lot of attention because of their lack of ability to be a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like exactly.
The
So
foolery game.
so that's all we talk about. Like I don't know any of their music. I just know that they don't talk about anything, and I hear the mumble rap, you know, that we call it, and that's it. But
It's almost like we're being force fed it though, right? So you turn on the radio and I hear, you know, like Kodak Black, man. Like, come on, man. Yeah. Kodak Black, what he did at the Breakfast Club interview,
With the hoodie, I mean,
it
with
was
the ski
an L. It
mask
was an
on.
L. It was an L for the black race.
no, that was an L for him.
Yeah, we're not taking that. No. But I mean, even some of the, Raindrops, Drop Tops.
Yeah, Migos.
Yeah, it's
Migos is killing.
I do like the Migos.
I
I'm
do.
sorry.
They about to perform at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Really?
catchy,
Yeah.
but what are these people talking about? I mean, are you talking about Jay, when you talk about Nas, when you talk about Scarface, Big Pimp C, Bun B, they was telling stories. I mean, you could listen to, you know, Pop Big, you could listen to all these artists, and they had a cadence to them. They made you elicit a certain level of emotions, made you feel something. Nowadays, you listen to it, and everybody trying to come up with a dance or something instead of talking about something.
It's the beat. It's really not the lyrics anymore. It's much
It's it's the production, it's the melody, you know.
So when you think of somebody like and Barrington had talked about this, about some of the conscious MCs, right? Like the KRS Ones of the world and, you know, David Banners of the world. Where do you think these type will fit into hip hop culture nowadays? Anybody jump in?
Fit in what way?
As
Like them specifically, or like a younger version of them?
specifically.
Yeah. I'm talking about them now.
Well, I mean, they're still legends in the game. They're still touring. They still have their cult-like following.
But I feel like it's not mainstream,
But
right? It's YouTube.
You can't allow it to be mainstream because they are educating and empowering urban America. So that's counter.
To what the goal
Exactly
plan is.
what the plan is. Exactly.
Which is to dumb us down. I wholeheartedly agree with you. Some may call it conspiracy theory. This guy's laughing at me.
No, it's true.
I really
It's true.
think it's a plot. I really think it's a plan because I think a lot of people forget how powerful music really is. And if I can infiltrate this sector with BS and garbage and then constantly just program your mind to think a certain way and do a certain thing, you become a Tron. You're an Android.
I also think you have to look at the origin of hip hop, right? It was
Give it to us.
it was just a voice. It was a voice that was telling a story. And usually it's a raw story because that's how it was in the hood, right? It was a raw story. It was a raw emotion, and that's what you're saying. We had these storytellers in the beginning. 'Cause that's what it was. Everyone was trying to tell their story, and then it was about everyone has a story, but now how well can I tell it? And it was all about the lyrics. It was like, who was the best lyricist, right? But even if you take it back even further, it was the DJs. The DJs were the ones that were up front, and MCs just happened to come along just to be that filler. Now all of a sudden, the MCs started to become popular, and the DJs were now in the background, and then the MCs just kind of took it from there. But again, in the beginning, it was telling a story. I had a story to tell. NWA had a story to tell, and theirs was raw, and we went through that whole progression, right? And then we had, I call them these hip hop dynasties, where a label will be up for a while and then come down, and another label up and come down. But now I think the pendulum, right? But I think the pendulum is.
But he was a storyteller too, though.
Yeah, but the pendulum just swung way, way, way. And now I'm hopeful, as Jay was saying, that pendulum is starting to swing back, and we start to get some more thought-provoking music out there.
But is that going to sell though? Right, like
If you buy it.
the public
If you
enemies
buy it.
of
But if they don't play it,
Right.
you don't know about it. See,
Well-
I think that's the point he was getting about. See, like the conscious MCs are not getting that airtime.
Right.
But yeah, but you're talking about the old regime. The old regime was, oh, please, Mr. Radio, play my song, play my song. You don't have to do that anymore.
That's fair.
We're in a social media age now. We're in a YouTube age. I mean,
Right.
look at
That's
Justin
fair,
Bieber and
and
all
that's
that.
fair.
We just those self-conscious rappers need to figure out, if I really want to get my voice out there, I need to look at every single medium in order to get that voice out there. It's not just the one place anymore.
I'll give you Chance the Rapper.
Yeah,
That's about
I
it.
was about to say that.
I mean, that's the only person that had to grind, in my opinion. I mean, you're more versed in this than I am, so please.
Chance definitely is laying down the blueprint for a lot of people, but he also has a lot of industry connections.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's had his hands in a lot of different things. So, a lot of people say that, he is indie, but he's also indie with, like,
He's got the hookup.
a big hookup.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
like,
obvious.
it's not a real indie grind. Like you can't have an indie grind without a real cult like following, like a movement. You know what I'm saying? Like No Limit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cash Money, like Rockefeller, like
Yeah.
they were indie grinds with a movement.
Took over
Chance the
the whole
Rapper is an individual that has popped off with his relationships. You know what I'm saying? But I think that he's laying down the blueprint where he's still doing it his way. So that's an awesome, sight to see. So a lot of people are going to try to reproduce what he's doing right now.
So what did you think about the strategy that Lil Wayne did back in the day when he was releasing all those
An album a day.
album? I mean, just
Well, Currency drops a mixtape every month.
okay.
So he has a crazy cult-like following as well. He was also on Cash Money and No Limit.
Really, every month.
Every month, yeah.
So
And
what do you think about
he
his
has his own
content
movement.
now?
His content?
Yeah.
Currency or Wayne?
No, wait.
Wayne?
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see what he comes out with. I never really been a Wayne fan. My favorite Wayne album was the Rebirth, which was his rock album.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I think content-wise, that was his best project ever.
And what was the one he did live on Unplugged? What album was that? You didn't like that?
I can't remember.
I
No.
think that was dope. That was dope.
Nah, he's I don't know. He's like, I think he's one of those artists that transitioned us into this mumble rap era.
That's a fair assessment.
Like I would listen to him and I'd be like, what is he saying right now? Or y'all thought that was tight? Like
Right.
he's
nobody can
mumbling.
repeat
You know what I'm saying? But he was Wayne, so it was just like, all right, that's cool. So then, these little, Wayne lookalikes were birthed,
Yeah.
and they just started mumbling.
I can't say he did invent tight, skinny jeans.
Tight, skinny jeans, tats on your face, like all the crazy stuff. He started that.
You're listening to Divergent Thought with Jay Julien as we talk about the future of hip-hop. Call in, talk to us, 202-652-0708. So I want to jump back to what we were talking about as it relates to social media, right? So Kevin Hart, I know he's not necessarily a rapper, but chocolate drop.
Now, I would put Kevin Hart, I think he's a good part of hip-hop culture because he started with Rockefeller, with, I think it was Paper Soldiers.
Yep.
Like, that was one of the first movies, like, Dame Dash put him on. So, he grinds like a rapper.
He really did.
Yeah.
So when you talk about the social media, he talks about how you own your content, how you leverage your content, how you just push. So now you're getting a lot of people, going back to Daryl's point about YouTube and Instagram and Twitter and all these type of things. How can you, people who don't really have that knowledge base, how can they get content out there in a sense that they can become like Young M.A.? She took the world by storm. Ooh.
Oh, that's the noise. I had it wrong.
That's Master P.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right now, content-wise, YouTube is really popping. Instagram is popping. World Star Hip Hop. I think those are outlets that people use a lot. Then you have like Spinrilla, mixtapes. You know what I'm saying? Really, you can get like. Here's the thing about social media and content going viral. You can't really guarantee what will go viral or not.
You can't call it.
Yeah, it's no formula to it. It's just really about consistency, about creating content and keep putting it out, and whatever sticks. But a lot of people don't have that commitment to being consistent, to putting out the content, whether it's, financially, I don't have, the money, or I don't have the time, or I don't have, the resources to put out a good video or good quality music, whatever it is. But once you can put out music consistently on those social media platforms, then you put yourself in the best position to get something to go
Whether
viral.
it's good or not, as long as you got the content.
Yeah, as long as you're consistent, yeah.
But that's the challenge that I have,
Because
you talk about consistency and discipline, right? So you can put out a bunch of nonsense, but can you actually sustain that, right? So when you talk about people like that came on the ground, or go back to NWA, they were constantly grinding, or not.
That was good stuff though.
That's what I'm saying. They were
Cubes and
consistent. You talk about, even though they're not necessarily hip hop, but someone like Aerosmith and Steven Tyler. They went to club after club after club. Now you get these kids that go home, put some green screen up in the crib, they come up with the show, the song, come up with the dance, one-hit wonders. Can you sustain that type of stuff if you really don't work at your craft on a day-to-day basis? Because some of the songs that come out, you can't tell me Kodak Black works on his craft. Or what's the dude that said, if you give me a whack beat, I'm not going to rap to it? Who came on? I think
it was somebody.
Somebody ignorant, that's all I know. If you don't practice your craft, how can you expect to sustain and make for real money?
But I think you perfect your craft on accident by being consistent. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're always going in the studio, if you're always like doing remixes or like whatever it is that you're doing, if you're being consistent, if you're not working on it, you can still perfect. I guess you can perfect what people want to hear. So you get feedback and you'll see, okay, I got this many retweets, I got these many likes or whatever, so I'm gonna keep going in this direction, and you can keep doing that until you build that cult like following. Like the big thing about brand loyalty is that in order to trust a brand or to be loyal to a brand, it has to be something that you can trust, which is the consistency. I know every Wednesday you're gonna drop a garbage freestyle. But I know it's going to be there every Wednesday.
I can find it.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I think there's a difference, though. I think there's a distinction here between when you're talking about consistency in terms of presence, which generally these days comes out to web presence. But like, what is your web presence? Is it consistent? Like you're saying, every week Wednesday, I know you're going to drop something, whether good, bad, or ugly. You're going to drop something. But the other consistency is as an artist. dare I say, if you have consistency as an artist, you're not growing as an individual, which means you're not going to be growing as an artist too. I mean, look at the people who has longevity, from Queen Latifah's to Jay to Nas, like even LL Cool J. They've changed over time. They're matured over time. So now your content's going to be different, right? And then sometimes that makes your fan base upset because they're like, I want to hear the original Jay. You know what I mean? I want to hear that Reasonable Doubt Jay, but I don't want to hear Blueprint 3 Jay.
Can I piggyback off of that comment? So, somebody that's just the guy, I think he's a genius, but some people call him an idiot. Kanye West, right?
He's a genius.
He is a genius, right? He's a genius, but he is
Genius in the music realm.
Here we go.
I
bet you if he ran
for what?
No, back to my question. But so, in your opinion, right? So, he evolved, in my opinion, right, over time, and was chastised for it. From college dropouts to 808 heartbreaks to, you know what I'm saying? Like, he evolved. And I feel like the fan base rejected it. And, he was shunned because of it. But in all actuality, he just grew, I think, and tried different things. They just, might work out for me. This might not have worked out for me. But I think that his genius is crazy. Seriously.
It's unmatched.
It really is.
He is a real artist.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, I agree with you. I don't say 100% agree with you because I think people use the term genius loosely, but I do think he's a genius within the music.
He's a
realm.
savant. He's a musical savant.
You think so?
But see, this is what I'm saying.
Well,
Do you have a musical background at all?
Negative.
He does. I do. Do you?
No.
You see it when you see it. I'll tell you someone else is that Michael. I think R. Kelly was a musical genius.
Yeah,
I think Kanye is a musical genius.
Right, but I was just differentiating. You said genius versus musical genius. That's all I'm saying.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think he's a genius.
In general, do you?
In general, yeah.
Really?
I wouldn't
From design,
He just thinks differently.
he thinks differently. So, like the way his mind works, he's a genius. I think he is a Steve Jobs type of a person. And
That's
if you,
not far off.
You put him in the right room with the right creatives, and he will create some
Like you
dope
said,
stuff.
Walt Disney, Google.
What else he say? I am Warhol.
I am Warhol.
Yeah, I am Warhol.
He
But so
is
when you
that.
think about, so when you
Stop
talk about
marginalizing.
him, his role, right? So since we're talking about Ye, the level of influence that they had. When you talk about hip hop artists, when you back in the day, if LL Cool J said something, or Wu-Tang Clan said something, or Jay or Biggie or Nas or Pac said something. Think about when in 2000, I think it was 7 or 8, when Diddy went on that like "Let's Go Vote" thing.
Yeah, vote or die.
Vote or die. He changed the nature of how young people thought about voting. Do you think the artists that we have now, including the likes of a Kanye West, the J. Coles, the Kendricks, the Wiz Khalifas of the world, do they have that level of influence where you can actually go on a Heart and Minds campaign and change the very nature of the way young people or even older people think about what they're trying to do from a social standpoint or musically, whatever? Do you think we have that right now?
I think Kanye is one. As far as everybody else, I think it would depend on what it is they were actually trying to push. So I think like Jay-Z had that influence because he was king of Rockefeller, and Rockefeller was king of hip hop. Right now, you don't really have any kings. Like Drake is king, but people don't want to be like Drake. Like you don't want to dress like Drake. You don't really, you know what I'm saying? Like he's just a good rapper, a good artist. Migos might. The Migos are killing right now. People, they have a nice cult following. So it just depends on what it is that they would be pushing. I don't know socially if they would be able to push anything, but I think maybe like entertainment or fashion wise, they might be able to, pull like a Jay-Z when Jay-Z said, "Don't nobody drink Cristal no more," and everybody stop drinking Cristal.
Ain't on that level yet.
Or getting a crisp pair of jeans and a button up, and everybody switched their whole wardrobe.
Change clothes.
Yeah.
And go.
What were you about to say?
So this goes back to, I want to go back to the Young and May, right? So are there any, in your opinion, female rappers out there that can go back to that level of dominance or even talent that we had back in the day with Missy or MC Light or Queen? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah.
I think Remy
No,
Ma
one can do it.
and
Yeah.
Nicki Minaj are like the only female rappers that have the capability of being at that level.
And what do you think about those two? What's your assessment?
Remy Ma, she came out of jail. She's been spitting
Yeah.
like
She
going
really had a
crazy.
story to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, she got serious.
Cheetos.
And she's going real hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she just had, you know, her miscarriage. So
Yep.
that's gonna, you know,
Yeah. That's a good track right
yeah,
there.
put some fuel in her. But I think Nikki finally has someone to battle with, like some competition finally. So
She been standing
She
alone
didn't have
for
it
a
in her
minute.
house.
yeah.
You kidding me?
So I'm looking forward to seeing what she's gonna do with that.
But none of them touch it. None of them really touch a Lauryn Hill though. As far as I'm concerned.
No one touches Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
We haven't had a Lauryn Hill since.
No.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Shoot, Lauryn Hill ain't even Lauryn Hill.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. I forgot what it was. It was at the Merriweather, and apparently the rumor is she no longer owns the music to
The miseducation.
yeah.
Really?
And so it was terrible. Everyone left, and so she did that entire album with a rock beat behind it, and it was a travesty, an absolute travesty.
I remember people talking about that.
Lauryn Hill is no longer Lauryn Hill.
But going back to
I think
the
she
pre-
is still Lauryn Hill. She's just not miseducation. Like, first of all, like the miseducation was a project that she didn't even want to do. Like the label really pushed that on her.
Wow.
So, you know, that was a good move for the label, you know, and it, you know, she benefited from it. But I think soulfully, Lauryn Hill is still Lauryn Hill.
Man, if this dude hang up on one more person,
No, that's not even me.
It's not even me.
Who else? Who else
Right,
behind
who
it?
else behind me?
Look, you see it. I got it. Hello, caller.
Caller, you there?
You see the lights red.
It's
Call
not
it.
that, man.
Man, maybe
He's-
it's a telemarketer.
He's dropped 7,000 calls.
I got a big finger.
7,000. You should get fined for all the calls you drop.
He's our Sprint.
Hey, hold on for a second, man. They making a comeback.
Yeah.
They're making a comeback.
Yeah, right. That 1%.
Yeah.
Right.
But, you know, so when you talk about, and Barrington mentioned this a while back, when you talk about Jay, Snoop, Nas, LL Cool J, all these people, how do they maintain that level of consistency and influence across? I mean, it's been decades now. I mean, since we were little. You know,
Evolution.
because they constantly change. And no, I mean, I get that. But what about them stands above the rest? Is it simply because they're like chameleons? Not in I'm not true to myself way, but I can, you know, when Migos comes out, Snoop can jump in and rock with them like that, or Jay can jump on a verse with, you know, J. Cole, or pick a person.
God, Nate Dogg.
What is he talking about?
R.I.P. Another one just hopped on the track and it was hot.
Oh yeah. Right. So how do they maintain that level of? How do you evolve like that? And I mean, the industry changes so
Okay.
fast, man.
Jay-Z he's the GOAT. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
real
He's
quick,
the Tom
like,
Brady of rap.
I was the biggest Jay-Z hater growing up because I was a Tupac fan.
Yeah,
And
same.
then, you know, I was cool with Biggie or whatever, but I was like, you know what? Jay-Z would never be hot if Tupac and Biggie didn't die. And I was like bitter about that for a long time.
I'm with you. I was the same
And
way.
then I was like,
the
he's
same way.
corny, blah, blah, blah. But he earned me over, like, with his hard, you know, work ethic and just his grind, man. But I think that all the people that you mentioned, Jay-Z, from Baby, Diddy,
Eminem.
Snoop,
Eminem was a problem.
like Dr. Dre, like all of those are like real hustlers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they're hustlers. They really came from the street, and they are really committed to their art and to just business. So I think that's how they stay on top of their grind,
What do you think
and
about
stay
50?
relevant. 50 is a hustler as well.
Even
yeah.
Luda, man. I throw Luda.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, Luda's doing the movie thing.
yeah, he's on the movie.
Luda's
thing.
got bread.
Yeah.
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 But I mean, like you see a lot of the. I mean, we still talk about the same ones. Do you see the new crowd of MCs that are out there now being still around in 15, 20 years? I mean, like out of all of the people we named, Drake, Jay,
I think the first three
Kendrick,
that you mentioned. So I mean the first two. So Kendrick, I think will be around for a long time.
Kendrick, J.
J.
Cole,
Cole,
Drake,
Yeah, Drake. And then Buck stops there.
and I see Chance
Yeah,
doing the
Chance.
same thing.
Yeah, because he's super young, right? He's like 23-ish.
Yeah, he's like 23. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when we go around and you listen to these songs, I find myself in the car a lot of times listening to old Ice Cube or going back to Tupac because he still elicits the same emotions. Like, you know, any song that he talks about, I don't necessarily feel that way now when these songs come on. I mean, anytime you hear Brenda's got a baby, but Brenda's barely got a brain, you go back to where you were and you're like, yo, he makes you feel a certain type of way. And I think it was his ability when he grew up with the Panthers and all that to talk about real hard issues that we don't get out of this group of people. Who?
Said, look who his mama was.
Yeah, finish.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? He
yeah.
was already.
But do we have that nowadays? Do we have any? I mean, you listen to these talk shows where they ask a rapper like, "What do you think about what's going on in the world?" And they'll tell you something like, "Oh, it ain't got nothing to do with me."
Well, who's the clown that dresses up in a dress? You know him. It's not Travis Scott. It's not
Oh yeah, that was
tall, lanky guy.
Young Thug.
Young Thug, right? They asked him
that's
his
what I'm
issue,
talking about,
you know,
yeah.
his position on social events, social topics, and when he's my job is to rap, yeah. Like these dudes, man, it's just a bad look.
I think at the end of the day, they are in the position that they're in because they're easily
Because they're puppets.
exactly. So they tell them, don't say nothing. You know, you have nothing to say.
Put on
Like
a
even
dress.
Cam Newton when he had to talk
Kaepernick,
about
yeah.
Black Lives Matter, he was like,
Right.
what does my opinion matter?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
'Cause it's
that's
scared.
that's the culture that we're creating. You know, as far as our young black men is concerned, it's just be talent and that's it. You know,
That's what it's told.
exactly. And then they're the ones that's going to sign these contracts. Like major labels are dying right now. So the only people that's going to sign a contract like that is people who are desperate enough to do it and maybe not intelligent enough to know better. So you won't get a chance to rapper to do that. You won't get someone like him. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. That's the people you're gonna get the money from. They're gonna make that type of music. You know what I'm saying? Because it fits your agenda and it sells. Because urban music, they actually sell urban music based off of research for elementary, middle school, and high school kids.
Really?
So even your Beyoncés and your Jay-Z's, like, their consumers are those people. Like, it stops at, like, age grade 12. So when you think about the content and the melodies and everything, it's catered to kids.
Yeah, because even when you hear like politicians and all that type of stuff, then when they write speeches, they have them try to write them at a 10th grade level. So then that way the masses can hear. So I mean, I guess it makes sense, but we don't even know what half these rappers saying. I couldn't tell the difference between like Future and some of these other dudes for months. Thought it was the same people.
Yeah, that's the same. It's almost like a blueprint.
They're all doing the same
They're all
thing.
doing the same thing.
I mean, when we were
Because they
growing
know
up, you
it
had
sells.
Wu, who sounded different. You knew Scarface's voice. You knew Luda's voice, Jay, Pac, Big. You knew their voices. When Nas came on the air, that raspy voice, you knew that was Nas. Now you get some of these dudes and you're just like, I don't know who that is. And I don't know what you're saying.
I will say one of my favorite tracks, and I can understand literally 3 words out of the whole song, is Timmy Turner.
Timmy Turner.
Dude, the bass line, bro, that thing, it rides, man. You gotta ride that out. That's good.
But you don't know what he's saying.
But hey, look, I'm going now. I'm in there.
You're right with him. Yeah, all I know is Timmy Turner.
Yeah,
That's the only
even
thing
with
I
your
know.
boy Burner.
Yeah, and we might have,
Something.
we might have made up that burner part right now.
No, I think that's what it is. And that's all for the cartoon, right? So there it goes back to catering to the kids. It's Timmy Turner, the cartoon.
But you also need that. You also need club play too, right? So sometimes you need those less than provoking songs because nobody wants to think about. You kind of you're going to the club to kind of get away from the world for a couple hours, right? So you don't want that thought provoking stuff in the club. So you kind of need that mindless music, at least for the club play. But I'm like you, in my car, I don't listen to the radio at all. Whatever's on my phone, which is guaranteed old school, that's all I listen to.
Yeah, I just felt like in the past, man, like you had to have a rite of passage to get into the game, right? To really get into the game. But now I kind of feel like it's super easy to become a rapper or an artist in general as it relates to what am I going to do to jump in? Like you put something out on YouTube and all of a sudden it's like, boom, king. Even for a day.
I think in the past, the culture had to give you that stamp in order for you to get on. Now it's just the label.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the transfer of power has changed. You know what I'm saying? In the past, you had to be like stamped by your neighborhood or like a DJ, like how he was saying, like you had to have a credible DJ behind you, a producer or a label or
DJ
something
Red Alert,
that you came through. Now you can just go straight to the label and they can give you a deal and you can put out music and then they say, hey, rock with this guy because he signed. You know what I'm saying?
Right. He's a part of the family now.
Exactly.
So you're listening to Divergent Thought with guest Jay Julien, and we just had another one of our guests come in, call in, and talk to us, 202-652-0708. We're talking about the future of hip-hop. What's going on, man? How you doing?
What's going on,
What's
bro?
up, boss? How you doing, man?
Good, man. Appreciate
How
you
you
coming
doing,
in.
Welcome, man.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, so we'll let DP jump in and do the introduction for
Well, I'm
you.
gonna go ahead. Took the mic, man.
Oh,
We
my
just
bad.
go. No, that's not.
That's
It's
what
all
I do.
good.
I'm sorry.
No. We just got local artists here today. We got Blake Holmes in the building. I appreciate you stopping by. Right, and we're gonna interview a little bit, and maybe he'll bless us lyrically with a little something other. So, how's everything going, man?
I'm doing well, man.
Yeah.
Everything's good, man. How you guys doing?
Good, man. Appreciate it. So talk to us about your grind, Blake. Man, how long you been in this game?
Well, I've been making music since I was 14 years old.
Oh yeah,
How old are you now?
23 now.
you've been doing this for a
9 years
minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, man. So when you're here today, like you're rapping, saying what we do in a little bit.
I'm actually dropping my first EP. We're doing a promotion. Our first EP is called I Am Black.
Okay.
And it's for the month of like February,
Right.
Black History Month, and it's really good music. It's about 5 tracks on it. That's available on our website. Well, it will be in the next week.
Okay. What's your website? Shout it out.
www.iamblakeholmes.com.
www.iamblakeholmes.com.
And of course, Heatwave Entertainment is the squad. That's the people, my management and everybody else. That's
What
the
up,
whole team
Heatwave?
that's in the building. So
Yeah, appreciate it.
I definitely appreciate y'all having me, man.
Glad to have you, man. So, won't you take us on the journey, brother? How did you get started in your career, and what gave you kind of like the push to start rapping stuff like that?
To be honest with you, brother, I was always in the car with my dad, and he had 3 tapes. He would play an En Vogue tape, a Kenny G tape, and I forget the third one right now. But I would be switching them out, and I memorized them, and then I just transferred over to like those 102.3 rides,
Okay.
with your folks, like
Yeah.
Tom Jordan and stuff.
With your folks, yeah.
And that sticks.
Yeah.
And I wanted to just notice, and I knew every song like on the radio. Just tried my hand at writing, and it just went from there. Then I got into Duke Ellington,
Okay.
and ended up graduating from there. And ever since then, met Alvin and Brandon at Heatwave Entertainment, and we've been going ever since then.
That's what's up.
Pretty much ever since high school.
So when you think about, on this show, we're talking about the future of hip hop.
Right.
But going back to the rappers in the day, like Tupac is personally my favorite, right? But when you think about the stories that they told and the way the game has changed now, how people can jump into the game and there's not the same level of I'm coming at you, I'm telling a story, I'm giving you every bit of me. How do you feel about the future of hip hop right now with the people you see out there? Who you listening to?
Right. I've always, I guess right now, we've been so like in a creative mode that I guess I haven't really stepped outside to listen to that many artists. But when I drive, I guess I like to bump Av Soul. If you ever heard of Av Soul, that's one of my man. Lupe Fiasco is one of my favorite rappers of all time. To me, the greatest, hands down. Who else? Of course, I love Jay. It's just not no current rappers. Like I like Cole. I didn't really like the last album so much, but Kendrick. That's about it, man. I don't really like
That mumble rap stuff?
too much. Too much. But
Yeah, because that's what we was talking about, man. And you talking about the influence that they have here, domestically, internationally. I feel like the game is changing, and we always joke here, but for real serious, like it's the dumbing down of America, right? Like when you get,
I feel that.
like when people, you don't even know what they saying half the time when they get on. And I think when you get young people that come in and just trying to change the nation, that's why I like the Coles of the world, the Lupes, the Kendricks, because I mean they can go hard, but they also kind of, you can tell they're lyrically inclined, right? Like
Yeah, they trying
practice
to-
their craft, and it's not just a bunch of nonsense where they gonna go on just because they shoot themselves in the foot. Literally, somebody like, yo, dude, crazy.
Literally.
Yeah, let me bring him on the show and talk to him about why he did this,
I
right?
feel you on
No, I'm definitely on board. I think it's actually, when I say it's getting better, I think that it's getting dumber and smarter at the same time.
Talk to us.
So the conscious rappers are getting smarter because they're learning how to be conscious, but yet still put out commercial music at the same time.
Sure.
So your Kendricks, your Lupes, your J. Coles, like the whole TDE, like everybody's putting out music that the young folks can listen to, but there's still messages in it. So while, you know, I think that was the issue with your KRS Ones and your Mos Defs and stuff like that. They were making conscious music, but it wasn't commercial, and youth didn't want to listen to it, so they died out. So now, you know, you have your conscious rappers that are getting better at music business. So they're learning how to be commercial, but yet still give you those gems and those jewels. So I think that's how it's going to end up, you know, becoming more successful, because once they have that proof of concept, it's like, okay, you can do this and make money. You can do this and sell records. Then you'll have more artists follow them instead of the mumble rappers, because that's what's selling, or that's what they're telling us it's selling. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not really attempting to do it the way that a J. Cole or Kendrick is doing it. So once they can say, look, we have these blueprints right here, and they're killing. We need to do this, because the labels don't care about the rappers or the art. They care about selling records. You know what I'm saying? So once this is selling more, then they're going to be like, yo, we need to sign more of them and forget these mumble rappers.
So since we're talking about the plight of rappers, right? Can you give me your experience, man, trying to get recognized out of the city, bro? Like, if my memory serves me correctly, we got Wale. That's about it.
Yeah.
And I think he's from Motown. You know what I'm saying? So no, you know what I'm saying. I don't even think no shade or nothing like that, but I don't even think he's really from the city. You know what I'm saying? So tell me what it's like. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get out there, trying to get recognized from the city.
I mean, it's hard coming from the city, I guess, to a certain extent. I guess my situation is a little different from the everyday local artist, you know, because I got my squad, Heatwave, with me. And they really back me on a lot of the things, put me in the studio, make sure I'm out of trouble and things like that. So, but it's an everyday grind coming from here, and you can't expect like the love that you would get up front in other places. Like, I don't know if you ever been like, Atlanta's a good music scene, or like maybe in California. There's so many people that walk up to us every day that's like, if y'all was in Cali, if y'all was here, y'all would have been gone. You know what I mean? Or been made it. But here is just like it's something else. Like, it's just a little hate first type thing, or it's like nobody wants to really get involved with you
Right here.
unless they can.
It's the truth.
No, yeah, definitely. And I feel like a lot of artists can speak to that. Like, that's the, yeah.
You know Chaz? You know Chaz?
Chaz French?
Yeah. Well, no, it's a rapper out of the area named Chaz.
I might have heard him.
He's I think he's a Sony record, Sony artist.
Okay.
And he's out. He's out in California right now.
Right.
And, had to get out.
And that's what they always tell me. Like, they always told me to make my vision bigger than here. You know, it's like it's a worldwide thing, and we always picture myself in other places. So we're getting close to that right now. That's why I'm excited about this I Am Black EP, you know.
Yeah.
So we getting there.
So talk to us about that. What was the process like? How long did you work on your I Am Black EP?
You know, it's funny, like, I've been working consistently with Heatwave for about like 3 or 4 years now.
Okay.
And it's just like, we've been working. I Am Black never came like, all right, we should put these songs together for the month of February.
Okay.
We already had the songs there. Like, I'm in the studio almost every day,
So you
and
know
I just
you're
work. So it just happened, like, the month came, and all these other things were happening, and we just had the perfect songs to just fill in, touch up, add some people, you know,
Yeah.
and that's how that came about.
So you said how many songs on this one?
How many we got? Like, we got 5 in a poem, I think.
Oh,
It's
that's
5 in a
what's
poem.
up.
It's just a small EP, but it's tight.
Yeah.
It's really dope. Like, anybody who puts their ear to it is really going to be impressed.
And it's coming out next week?
Yeah, we're looking at next week, February 7th, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah.
And people can go and get that through Heatwave Entertainment?
Right, or right on the website,
Okay.
IamBlakeHolmes.com. Everything's going to be on there.
Can you talk to us about the business of the music industry? So trying to get your label off the ground, paying for studio time, trying to get gigs, all these different things that you're trying to do. It takes money, it takes time. Can you touch on that a little bit?
Right. I guess time is the most important thing. It's all in, like, however much you put into it is what you're going to really get out of it. Money is important, but you got to know what to spend money on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people want to floss and just be in the wrong places, you know what I mean, for no reason. So it's just like, my journey in particular, I could have been putting music out, like, on SoundCloud, like, just like to be like my friends, you know what I mean, and just get that respect. But I met with Alvin and Brandon. They told me, hold off, like, we're going to get this perfected, you know what I mean, to where it's at a level where we're going to be selling music. We don't give away music for free, So now we're on the level like, you know, and I see that like I went from needing an engineer to knowing how to record myself. You know what I mean? And over like a course of a year, and they put me in those positions to do that. So it's just like you can take the time to like try to build a team of people around you that's gonna like make sure that like, all right, if we do spend money, we're gonna spend it on this because this makes the most sense. You know what I mean? It's hard to do it by yourself.
Right.
It's damn near impossible. Excuse my language, to do it by yourself.
You're listening to Divergent Thought as we talk about the future of hip hop with Blake Holmes and Jay Julien. Call in and talk to us at 202-652-0708. So, Blake, you have any songs here that you wanna share
Sure.
with us, or
I got some stuff on me, man.
all right? Yeah, so that way we
I
can.
would be happy to play.
And I'll just
Go plug it in.
So Jay, when you know all of the stuff that y'all are doing as well, like how do you feel? Have you experienced the same thing, like in the city that you're not, like people don't get the same level of love as if they coming from the outside, particularly like these artists who really out here hustling and grinding, trying to make it happen?
Not really. I mean, it just depends on the caliber of the artist, what your brand represents.
Yeah.
I work with a lot of dope artists that get a lot of good feedback from, you know, colleges, from blogs, things of that nature. So it's really all about, you know, your brand. When you have an undeniable brand, people can't
deny talent.
You can't deny talent. You know what I'm saying?
Anyway.
So it's really about hustling. It's the same thing, consistency. You're not going to get everybody because, you know, based off of just how the business works, it's a numbers game.
Right.
So you're going to get a small percentage of each crowd that you encounter. So the more gauge you get, the more interviews you do, the more you're grinding, the more you can build your cult-like following.
Yeah,
That's true.
That's when we heard about Blake, man. It was like, you know, we have a platform where we can offer young people, man, who trying to get stuff done and grinding. And now, you know, with heat wave and all that type of stuff, because you just said something a minute ago, and I think it's very true. Like when I hear the term self-made man or woman, it drives me bananas.
No, never.
Because there's no such thing. There's
Never.
no such thing, right? So I mean, when y'all walked in here and you have your whole team with you, man, I'm like, then you see the focus in your eyes to a young person that's going and trying to eat.
Yeah,
out
you
here in
really
the
do.
streets.
I believe. Thanks.
Yeah, you can definitely see it, man. And it's to me, it's a powerful thing because now when other people, young people, whatever, see it, they can look at somebody like you and be like, he came from the city, he's on the grind. Like now there's somebody that I can follow, that I can emulate, that I can at least say, hey, I can reach out to Heat Wave and say, hey, how can I do that?
Right.
Not that they hating on you, but they're looking at the level of, I want to do something with myself. You know what I mean? So
Right.
that's what I mean, I give props to you, salute, man, because I think
Oh
that's
no, I
what's up.
definitely appreciate it, brother. And I want to salute y'all. I did some research on the show,
Yeah.
and I was listening back to all y'all shows, man. It's like this is what we need, like positive black, you know, male role models. You know what I'm saying? A lot of dudes like me and people young like us, we look up, you know what I'm saying, and want to hear like of people, you know what I'm saying, doing positive things in our community. So I appreciate y'all just giving back, you know what I mean, the way that y'all do.
Appreciate that, bro.
So you got
And having me on, you know what I mean, that's a pleasure.
No, yeah, we want to definitely play the music and all that. Make sure we get all y'all social media stuff too, man,
Of course.
because
I got
we
you.
don't want to lose that. So, B, you got him?
So, little bro, you want to go ahead and introduce this track for us?
Oh, sure. This is one track off of the EP. It's called I Am Black. It's going to be available February 7th. It's called Too Much. It's actually featuring my brother, Kenny P. He's standing right behind me.
Okay.
Appreciate y'all.
The big bang when I roll up. New name, but the old me. Everybody so opinionated. One thing sure that we gon' eat. That from day one, it was no sleep. All the fake friends kept it low key. You climb the ladder, they be getting antsy. Handshakes, they be for the envy. But I know my bros, and we know the code, it really ain't no questions. But it's too much soul, too much gold, way too cold. They see me counting out blessings. And I ain't into no flexing. We don't carry no weapons. Since the beginning of our time, a battle for top 5. You thinking it's sweet to get messy? Test me. See, we slide on them haters, we ain't never had nothing. Nah. Tell them smile, get your way, the mediocre won't cut it. Nah. I'm a diamond in the matrix, blue pills I want it. Fiend been a slave since 20, pastor can relate for the plate last Sunday. On God, teach you how to live, oh my. But they can't debate, it's highly favored. Talking flavor, then you know I to the sun die. Still talk crazy talk from the kinfolk. They be drilling in my mind, I'm fine. But when it all boils down, no one kicks to remember the time. So it's too much, damn. Too much, you know? Too much. Too much, so this shit just can't stop. So this is how I say my life. I mean that. It's too much gold on it. Too much soul on it. Too much gold on it. Too much soul on it. Can't dream stuff with you, can't kill my life. You dream. This is how I say my life. It ain't the same no more. She say, wake up, wake up, wake up. She blaze up, blaze up, blaze up. She know exactly what I need. She satisfied on my need. She touched me on my soul. Nice. Oh, let me lose control. Hey, she take me if I take her down. I build her up, she break it down. She got different sides, like a Gemini. Shawty saved my life, so don't kill my vibe. You know just how to play, you know just what to say. You bright me on my day. I hope you never fade away. Too much soul on it, too much gold on it, too much gold on it.
That was dope, bro.
Yeah, it was a dope track.
That was dope for real.
Well, thanks a lot.
I like the
I like that
message.
vibe, yeah.
Can you talk to us a little bit about and shout out to my man right here on the vocals.
Oh, yeah,
Heard
you
you
know.
like that joint. Yeah.
You know, he in the background.
Yeah. Can you speak to us a little bit about, you say how hip hop saved your life?
Right.
Talk to us a little bit about that.
I think everybody has like a story that you go through a tough time, and luckily, I guess for me, I don't want to get too specific, but it's just like luckily for me, I had certain records and certain artists. Like for example, like I love Kid Cudi, you know, and it's just like the reason I love Kid Cudi is because at the time when I needed that Kid Cudi, it was like speaking to me, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I learned the power in words. You see what I'm saying? So like when I try to write records now, it's like I always want you know what I'm saying, to say something or to try to get somebody to feel me the same way I feel like Cuddy, because somebody might need me in that time the same way I needed him. And I also remember somebody always saying, like, you know what I'm saying, I want to be famous, I want to be rich with this music stuff, but like, it's what artists live for that moment when a fan walks up to you and be like, bruh, you impacted my life. You know what I mean? So I want to make that type of music. So that's why, you know what I mean? Hip-hop saved my life.
I dig it. So we're winding down to the end of the show. You know, as we always do on Divergent Thought, we round robin it to kind of give our final thoughts on what we're thinking about the future of hip hop, and we want y'all to stick around for that. So B, we'll jump in with you, man.
Man, my man Jay, he gave me hope, man. He said it's not dead yet, because I was on the decline, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like you know. Every time I turn on a MTV or BET, I see a Kodak Black or Travis Scott or Young Thug in his I think he's wearing Jimmy Choo's right now.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? So
that's what they got on now.
Yeah, that's what they got on. He's wearing Jimmy Choo's right now. So man, I was saying, that it was dead, but you know what I'm saying? My man put me on, so there's still hope.
Yeah, and Blake just showed us that.
Absolutely. So it's not dead. Absolutely.
Appreciate that.
DP.
Yeah, that's definitely true, man. I wouldn't say it was dead. I might say it was on life support, but I do think the pendulum is swinging back the other way, and I think artists like Blake here and other thought-provoking artists will come out and really revolutionize the game and bring back hip hop to its original intent. So, yeah.
Jay.
I think it's more alive than it's ever been.
Okay.
I think more so because the labels don't own the music anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to go to the radio. You don't have to, wait for an album. You can go wherever you want on the internet and find an album like, what my man has, that's going to be dropping next week. You know what I'm saying? So everyone has the access to get what it is that they're looking for. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's in the best position it could ever be in, because it's independent now.
That's fair. Blake, what you thinking?
In my opinion, the real never dies, man. It's like they try all these ways to, get it out the way or make it not cool or unpopular, but it always finds a way to resurface, and that's exactly what's going on in the game right now.
Wait, before you go, man, also tell everybody where you're going to be in the next couple of weeks.
What we got? The schedule's on the website, IamBlakeHolmes.com. Oh, my man. See, I like this. I'm going to be at the Akia Garnett show at Listen Vision on the 14th of February. I think we got another date for the 14th. And we're going to be in Atlanta, I think, on the 11th, doing a couple of things in Atlanta with K100, if I'm not mistaken. So we're doing some moves with the EP, but I'm definitely going to make sure I send it to all y'all when it comes out.
So we can shout it out.
Most definitely.
And for me, man, with all these artists in the room, like I was telling Jay earlier, when you write, when you sing, when you rap, you do it, do not let the story die inside of you. My grandmother told that to me, my mom told it to me. Do not let that story die inside of you, man. Like, we can't act like we have 1,000 years to live. So you got stuff to do, make it happen. So Jay, give people your social media stuff, Counterculture, how they can find you out there.
You can find me on Counterculture Radio on Instagram. We're also here on Bliss FM every Sunday from 6 to 8 p.m.
Blake, they can find you where?
They can find me IamBlakeHolmes.com. All my social media is on there, every single thing. So
IamBlakeHolmes.com.
IamBlakeHolmes.com.
That's fair. And you can catch us on Twitter and Instagram at Diverge_Thought. You can find us on Facebook at Divergent Thought. We'll be back here at 8 o'clock next week. Until next time, love everybody, treat everybody right. We out.
Peace.
Peace.